And in this season, I've learned that at the end of the day, it's me versus me. It's you versus you. Not me versus my past, not me versus my circumstances, not me versus what someone said, but it's me versus a version of myself that I needed through survival of trauma. It's the me versus me that is in this season of healing and growing and shedding old skin, old layers, old habits. It's me versus the version of myself that learned survival before she ever learned peace. It's a weird feeling when your old habits and your old patterns don't fit the version of you now that you've become. When reacting out of anger feels wrong, when it used to be the first thing that you did. When shutting down feels painful and it no longer feels safe. When staying silent feels like self-betrayal and not self-protection, not self-love. And that's it. That's when you realize that the old you is still there, but it's not in control anymore. Both versions of you existed because they had to. But the thing is, only one version of you is allowed to move forward. Only one version of you is meant to move forward. Remember, growth is not linear. It's up, down, right, left, center. We're going to have days where we have the healed version of us and days where we have the reactive version of us. But even with those both days, it's okay. You know why? Because both days taught us something. You don't have to be perfect. The journey is not about never slipping. This journey is about noticing when you do and choosing to be different the next time. Welcome back to Healing Momma Podcast. I am Val, aka Healing Momma. And today's episode is You versus You. Before we kick off our episode, I would like to say I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas and truly got to enjoy spending time with your loved ones, because that's what it's all about. So today's episode is a pretty deep one. It's one that comes from the depths of my soul, from deep reflection, from quiet moments with myself, and from uncomfortable times, uncomfortable spaces that cause you to grow because there's no other option. And so that's where growth actually happens. Today's episode is you versus you, the inner battle, the journey, the struggle, the shedding, the growing, and the becoming. This episode is for those who can feel themselves changing, but in a sense, they grieve who they once were because you know that you're becoming this new version of yourself. And in certain instances, it's scary because let's be honest, it's hard letting go of the person that we created ourselves to be in order to get through traumas and in order to get through pain, just to keep ourselves safe, letting go of that person that held us for so long. And for those of us that know we've outgrown our old patterns, our old behaviors, but sometimes still feels pulled to go back into our old ways. For the person who realizes that healing isn't a straight line, it's almost like a tug of war between the new you and the older version of yourself that kept you alive, that kept you going. So let's go ahead and get into it with today's quote. Healing can feel like a betrayal, not of others, but of the identity you built. The identity you built around your struggles. The version of you that learned to survive through hiding will fight to keep you feeling small. Honor that version of yourself and then keep growing anyway. Michelle Clark. I love that one. So it's okay to honor the version of us that kept us from pain, that protected us for years through trauma. It's okay to honor that, but let's not stay in that version of ourselves. Let's keep growing. Let's keep learning. And so for the last few weeks, I've really been going through a lot of change in my life, challenges, struggles. My higher power has placed in front of me situations that are causing me to look deeper and grow. So I'm looking at myself at a deeper level now. I'm in this situation where I am looking beyond roles that I filled naturally. So the wife, the mother, the daughter, the friend. I've been trying just to sit with myself as a person, as an individual, who I am as Val, who I am outside of those roles. And man, it's been tough. It's really been hard. It's been uncomfortable, revealing. It's been necessary. And I feel like my higher power, God, has placed me in this exact moment for this very reason to look deeper at myself. So the season that I'm going through, it's a season of purpose. I feel that spiritually, emotionally, intuitively, I've been guided here by my higher power for a reason. Because let's be honest, do we really choose seasons of growth? Would we really choose seasons of reflection? Seasons of hurt, seasons of pain? My higher power lined this season up for me. This season chose me. And in this season, I've learned that at the end of the day, it's me versus me. It's you versus you. Not me versus my past, not me versus my circumstances, not me versus what someone said, but it's me versus a version of myself that I needed through survival of trauma. It's the me versus me that is in this season of healing and growing and shedding old skin, old layers, old habits. It's me versus the version of myself that learned survival before she ever learned peace. There's a certain kind of strength that shows up when you're alone, alone with your thoughts, where it's just you in a room, sitting down, and you're really being still and quiet in the moment and open to the thoughts that are coming up. You're not distracted, you're not numbing anything. You're not avoiding, just sitting there, allowing yourself to be present in the moment, allowing your mind to take you where it wants, and then choosing not to fall back into old habits that once controlled you. That moment, that pause, that stillness, that quiet, that's a choice. And in that choice is when you're choosing growth. And growth doesn't always feel like growth. It doesn't feel like growth at first. It hurts. It feels like tension. It feels like you're pulling away from the familiar. It's uncomfortable. It feels like letting go of the identity that kept you safe for so long. It's scary. And I've had moments recently where I could feel myself wanting to slip back into old habits, old patterns. And then bam, my body reacts instantly and it knows that this is different. This doesn't feel right anymore. I can't slip back to that old habit. I can't slip back to that old pattern, and my body refuses it. My mind, my soul, my spirit rejects those old patterns. It's almost like my mind, my soul, my body is telling me this doesn't belong to us anymore. This reaction, this feeling, this isn't us. And that's how I know that I'm changing. That's how I know that I'm growing. And it's a weird feeling when your old habits and your old patterns don't fit the version of you now that you've become. When reacting out of anger feels wrong, when it used to be the first thing that you did, when shutting down feels painful and it no longer feels safe, when staying silent feels like self-betrayal and not self-protection, not self-love. And that's it. That's when you realize that the old you is still there, but it's not in control anymore. Right now, I feel like I am shedding layers that I didn't even know I was carrying, to be honest with you. And I'm in this season of healing where I am learning that sometimes healing isn't about adding things to your life rather than taking certain things away. It's removing the part of you that no longer serves your greatest and highest good anymore. Old habits, old beliefs, old reactions, old wounds that you kept picking at, even old identities that you didn't even know you outgrew. And what I'm realizing is that shedding those layers can feel lonely because even though that version of you was familiar, it was unhealthy. It was predictable, comfortable in self-destruction, and even comfortable in a dysfunctional way. And now this new healing side of you, this healed version of us, is uncertain, it's new, it's unpracticed. We're learning, we're growing, it's tender, fragile even. And in a sense, it could almost feel like grief because again, we're letting go of the version of us that helped us survive. But we're no longer trying to survive, we're trying to thrive. It's okay to outgrow that old version of you. It's okay to say, hey, you know what? I honor that version of me because it got me through some of the hardest times in my life. But I'm okay. I'm healing now. I no longer need that side of me, that version of me. So let me ask you something. When life is giving you a moment or an opportunity to choose the new healed version of you or the old version of you, what version of you are you choosing? Are you choosing to take the harder path, the path of growth and healing, path where it causes you to breathe before reacting? Or are you falling into old habits, old patterns? Because those patterns feel familiar, they feel safe. Or are you stuck in the middle where you're like, hey, sometimes it's half and half. And it's okay to be honest with yourself. It's okay to say, I am stuck in the half and half. And if you do slip back into old habits, does it feel normal? Or do you feel a bit of awkwardness in the situation and how you responded to that situation? Or does it feel like home? Does it feel like your safety net? Does it feel like something that you live and breathe? I would say if you are feeling discomfort, that's a sign. That's a sign that you're growing. That discomfort is proof. It's your soul saying, we don't live here anymore. And I feel like a lot of the times people think that growth is about perfection, but let's be real, it's not. It's about self-awareness. Growth is about learning to notice the shifts that are taking place in your life. And it's even about acknowledging the side of you that says, wow, react the way old me would have reacted. And that acknowledgement in realizing that is powerful. So I want you to take a moment. If you're listening to this at home, I want you to stop what you're doing for a second. Think about the version of you from a year ago, 6 months ago, even 3 months ago. Would that version of you react the same way that you do today when you're going through things in life? Would that version of you let things go the way you do now? Would that version of you learn to walk away from situations that don't serve your greatest and highest good the way you do now? And oftentimes I feel like we don't realize how much we've grown until we really look at it. We really look at where we were at a year ago. But when we do zoom out for a second, stop, pause, reflect, look at our growth in terms of where we once were a year ago, a few months ago, when you really reflect, you can really realize how far you've come. So which version are you going to be? Which version of you are you letting win right now? The healed version, the intentional version, or the reactive version? The version of you that was shaped by pain and trauma. You see, the thing is, neither version of you is wrong. Neither version of you is bad. Honestly, both versions of you existed because they had to. But the thing is, only one version of you is allowed to move forward. Only one version of you is meant to move forward. Remember, growth is not linear. It's up, down, right, left, center. We're going to have days where we have the healed version of us and days where we have the reactive version of us. But even with those both days, it's okay. You know why? Because both days taught us something. You don't have to be perfect. The journey is not about never slipping. This journey is about noticing when you do and choosing to be different the next time. This journey is about grace, compassion, self-love. It's about patience, ownership. I want you to remember that healing isn't loud. Healing isn't this big announcement for the world to hear. Most of the time, we're healing in silence. We're healing in private, internally. Healing is about those micro shifts that nobody sees internally, but yet you can feel them deeply. Before we close today's episode, I want to give you a call to action, something that's going to be simple but powerful. Tonight, I want you to ask yourself just this one question. What version of you made your choices today? Was it the healed version of you? Or the version of you that was created through trauma and pain? And be honest with yourself and have grace with yourself. And as always, if you are struggling with answering these questions or it just hits you too deep or too hard, reach out to someone, talk to a friend, talk to a loved one, reach out to me. You can DM me. I always tell you guys, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to share my experiences and help anyone that I can. So if you feel like this practice, this call to action is too much, reach out to somebody and walk through it with them. I will always do my best to hold a safe space for you in my heart. And of course, if this message spoke to you or you know somebody who's going through it and you're like, hey, you know what? This message is for somebody that I know. Share it with them. If it made you reflect, take a deep breath, see things a little bit differently, realize it's okay to have grace with yourself and the growth isn't linear, or it made you see yourself in a new way, please like, comment, follow. If you want, you can screenshot this episode, share it on your story, and tag me at Healing Momma Podcast. I am on Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Instagram as Healing Momma Podcast. And I am on TikTok at Healing Momma Pod. And please remember, if nothing else stuck with you today, I want you to remember this. Healing isn't about becoming someone new. Healing is about becoming the person you were meant to be before the world shrunk you. And in every day, every way, every situation, every choice, every scenario, it's you versus you. So I thank you so much for joining me today. I send you so much love, peace, joy, happiness. I hope you have an amazing new year. And until next time, bye guys.